Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Boink Studios, and check us out on boinkstudios.com, where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy Show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this is Tom Clark's Main Event. We're back once again here on Facebook Live. Glad you are with us. We're also recording today. The show will post on YouTube and is always available on boinkstudios.com. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. This is episode number 157, and yes, we're moving right along here on Facebook Live. We want to thank everyone for joining us here, of course, and for coming back each and every week. Much thanks to Heidi Ryan and the whole crew at Wrestling Rumors for giving us this platform. We do greatly appreciate it. So episode number 156 was WWE Draft, Crown Jewel, and AEW Full Gear. We talked about all three events. The draft is over, and oy vey. Full Gear and Crown Jewel are coming up next week, so there's ample opportunity to see the big two at work. But we're on to a new week, folks. New stuff and a great big new show. This time, the main event is Open Forum Q&A number 3. Are you excited? Are you jacked? Are you pumped? You should be, because this time, I don't really have particular topics of the day to discuss with you. It's whatever you folks want to talk about. That's what it's about. That's what's up. So we are still saying hello. Any of you that watch the show on Facebook, if you're only listening to the show, you're missing out. Watch the show on Facebook. We are usually here live at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday on Wrestling Rumors Facebook Live. Most of the time. Sometimes we have to cancel due to unforeseen circumstances. But you guys know how it works. If you've only listened and never watched the show, shame on you. Come join us. We're having a blast. But we've got a lobby full of people happening right now. We've got people talking. Rebecca says, I want Punk back. A whole bunch of people. Am I frozen? Who said I'm frozen again? Oh, come on. Not again. So we had some technical difficulties a few shows ago, and it was horrendous, dude. Just horrendous. So hopefully that's not going to happen this time. Tim asks, is Finn making a club in NXT? I don't think so. I think he just turned heel. So, Rusev really arrested? No, I don't think so. Pretty sure that is. Hello, Jenna. Welcome back to the show. Jenna, as usual. That's just storyline. Isaac says Rhea's the best woman in NXT. They need to put the belt on her. She's great and a bad A wrestler. Isaac, I agree with you. All right, folks. So, you know the title of this week's show. Let's don't mess around anymore. Let's just go ahead and get to it. What have you got for me? We got an hour to talk and hang out. And you can enjoy all the hairy goodness that is Tom Clark. It's disgusting. I got a face made for radio, Jack. I'm not going to lie. But you know what? We have fun. It's all good. And somewhere out there, Claire is heading home from work. Claire, if you are listening to the show as it happens. First of all, hello in the UK, Claire. Congratulations on your engagement or your wedding. I remember you had a life event happening. I said congratulations to you. So, Claire, if you're driving, please drive safely. There you are. We got to tell our regulars hello and all that good stuff. So Barry, we'll start with you, bro. So Jim Ross went off on Rollins. Jim's been going off on a lot of people. I have a split opinion on Jim Ross. Number one, I think his work is fine. Yes, his work in New Japan was a bit rough. I think we need to cut the guy some slack. He lost his wife. If you've ever lost anyone close to you, it takes its toll, man. And good luck getting through that. It's the grieving process can be much different for everyone. So who knows? But cut the guy some slack. But I have a split deal on him. Again, in one aspect, yes, I think his work is much better than it's been in years in AEW. I firmly believe that. And I'm a fan. I am a fan of Ross. Number two, he loves to slam fans. And I know he doesn't mean to, but it comes off like he's slamming fans. Every time you turn around, he's upset because someone said something, and he likes to call us keyboard warriors, and we're brave behind a screen. And I feel like he tends to group us all sort of in the same category, which is, I guess I know why he does it, but it's still weird to me. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I don't hate the guy, and I don't hate on him. I wasn't a big fan of his when he first came back, but dude, I think he's sliding right into the groove. He's smart. He knows the business like the back of his hand. AEW needs him behind the scenes. I'm going to tell you something, guys, something. AEW needs a lot more than Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. They need the veterans backstage. They need the old school NWA and WCW guys. They need that. They need that. They have to have it. And Jim is someone great to have behind the scenes. 100%. And I'm perfectly fine with him at the table. Yes, he's cantankerous. And yes, he's starting to go off on people. And I'm okay with that to a certain extent. The issue that I have is that, again, I feel, and if I'm taking it wrong, all due respect to Jim and apologies, and I don't mean it personally, okay? Because I'm not that kind of guy, and you know that. But in my opinion, it sounds as though he groups all of us in the same category, and sometimes it feels like he looks down his nose at us as wrestling fans. And I wish that wasn't the case, and I wish I didn't feel that way. But every single time I listen to his podcast, I get that feeling. And maybe you guys aren't hearing that. Maybe I'm taking it too personal. I've been told I'm too sensitive. So there you go. Maybe that's what's going on. Let's see. Randy Orton to AEW. Shane, what's up, dude? Angie hit me with, what did you think of the tag team match on Dynamite? I think it was too over the top dramatic. I think a lot of the stuff on AEW is too dramatic, Angie, in my opinion. Shane, I think Randy would be a perfect fit in AEW. I think I was one of the guys a year ago who speculated that Randy Orton would be a great fit in AEW, and I still believe that. I wrote a piece this week on whether or not Randy could join AEW. It was like a brief one, like a snapshot or whatever. But yeah, he's supposedly his contract's up in 2020. He's teasing it online because that's what Randy does. He messes with people. So there you go. Robbie says, nothing wrong with beards in the winter. I grow my winter beard. This might be off topic, but who past or present wrestling sported the best beard? Robbie, Daniel Bryan. All right, so how about this? I'll go with Daniel Bryan at his peak or Bruce or Brody. I'll go with Ty. How about that? I don't know where that question came from, but hey, man, I'm here for you. Michael says, am I the only person who's enjoying NXT more than Raw or SmackDown right now? No, a whole bunch of people is right there with you. Right there with you. Jason says, Randy's just being a troll. Entirely possible. Would not surprise me in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Do you think JR is bitter towards WWE? Jenna, thank you, Jenna, for the question. I don't believe so. I think he's just airing his opinion. I think he's... can we just call a spade and call for what it is? Vince McMahon and that company did everything they could to make him look pathetic and make him look ridiculous, make him look like a joke of a personality for years. They fired him on multiple occasions. They're absolutely ridiculous. They mistreated him. They crapped on him every step of the way. So no, I don't appreciate what they did to him at all. I think they hurt him more than they ever helped him. I know that he was well paid. He doesn't complain too much about what happened to him. But dude, you got any of you that watched during the back in the day of what was going on, you know what happened. You know how they treated him. It was pathetic. If I were him, I'd be very upset, but I don't think he is. What's up with Tessa and her contract situation? Toby, I watched Tessa last night, the Triple H thing. Just Triple H show on YouTube that I watched last night. I like Tessa. I don't have the latest word on her contract. There's always been rumors about her jumping ship. If she leaves, I think it'll be WWE that you see her in, but I could be wrong. If nothing else, just to work with Charlotte. David says if Punk goes to WWE, AEW's finished. David, I don't believe that. I respect your opinion, but I don't believe that at all. Michael says, why are... excuse me. I'm talking 1,000 miles an hour here, baby. Why are the Ricochet AEW moves looking so much better and more extravagant than WWE? Because, Michael, the whole performance art subject, it's a deep, dark rabbit hole to go down, to be honest with you. And it's, I don't know if I want to go down it right now, but that's why. It's more of a showboat kind of style, Isaac says, have you watched NWA? Yes, I'm up to date on NWA Power. I dig the show. It's a nice change of pace. I'm all for it. Yep, Jason, I know Ross's comments about Seth and everything. Ross has got the right to defend his company and his promotion and his champions and his stars, just like Seth has the right to defend his company and himself and Vince McMahon. Totally fine with me. I get it. I get why each guy's defending their own company. I have no problem with that at all. But I think Balor joined the Undisputed Era a bit. I don't think he needs to. The answer is no, I don't think so. Maybe a power play to run the group between him and Cole, maybe. Jason said W is terrible anymore. Boy, a lot of people are right there with you, my friend. You think that Balor will join the Undisputed Era? No, I don't think so. I mean, I think if they were to go that route, it'll be more of a, like I said, a power play to see who would take over the group between him and Cole. And maybe that could result in Cole leaving. Isaac suggests, says, NWA is a great promotion. Suggests everyone go to YouTube and find it. Yeah, Isaac, we talked about it here on the show every week since it started. We heavily endorse it for sure. Tell me the day on YouTube the MLW airs. I already know I need to catch up on past episodes. Jason, they air the shows on Friday nights on BN Sports. That's it. It's a weird name, BN Sports. And I think that the replay hits on Mondays. Don't quote me, but I think it's Mondays the replay hits. I think I'm caught up. I might be one show behind. Who is taking the belt off Becky? Great question, Toby. I would say in the end it could be Sasha, but I don't know that for sure. We'll see what happens. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. That's a good question. So Alma is asking about the La Parka injury in MLW. Supposedly La Parka cracked his 5th vertebrae, I think is the story. I mean, La Parka's up there. His age, he's got to be pushing 50, if not older. I mean, he was a star in WCW, and that company's been closed for 20 years, so do the math. You know, all the best to La Parka, man. All the best to him. Hopefully he comes out of this good and heals up, gets back in the game if that's what he wants to do, you know. So, yeah, all the best to him. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate that. Michael says, what's with the Lashley, Rusev, Lana storyline? Michael, you have just hit the main topic of last week's show. 2 words, hot garbage. Any of you that watched last week got real sick of hearing it, but guess what, Jason? Hot garbage. Michael, excuse me. Jason, didn't mean to call you out. Hot garbage, that's what it is. Let me tell you what happened this past Raw. When they started with the whole Lana and all that nonsense, I muted it. I turned the volume down. I looked away. I don't care about it. I don't know on what planet they think people care about it. Do they care? I asked the question last week if any of you cared, and every one of you said no. Every one of you said no. So if I can get, 80 people to say no, how many more people are saying no? We don't want this. This is dumb. Take it off my TV now. I'm just asking. Jenna says she'd love to see a match between Adam and Finn. Jenna, I'm right there with you. 100%. La Parka's 353. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Leo. Appreciate that. Yeah, he's up there, man. In wrestling years especially. I'm not saying that it's he's too old. I'm not suggesting that if he's healthy and everything, but he's not in the shape he was in before, and he was never in great shape to begin with, to be honest. Hello, Jim. What's up? Rusev even looks like he doesn't care. Well, you know, Jim, that's a good point. How much of his reaction is based upon what they're telling him to do, and how much of it is really him going, God, I can't believe we're doing this. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know, man. My apologies for the typing. Alrighty. So, what else we got? Sorry about the interruption there. Troy says, I think they need to stop giving so much TV time to the old guy, like Hogan and Flair. Give it to the new up-and-comers that deserve it. Got some superstars complaining about Jubba shit. Troy, they've done it for years. I get what you're saying, but man, they've done it for a heck of a long time. It's how they roll, man. It's how they roll, you know. So yeah, crazy. That's just what they do, man. I hate it, but it is what it is. So yeah, I agree with you to a large extent. They need established stars. They need veterans and stuff. But yeah, I do think they take it too far. Isaac says, I saw Tessa Blanchard contract is up. Do you think she'd be going? Isaac, again, I think if she goes anywhere, it'd be WWE, if only because the whole Charlotte Flair thing. Just to say the words Flair versus Blanchard. I think that would be huge. That's a storyline waiting to happen. Will we see an AEW instead? Possibly. What's your thoughts on Twitter row between Lacey and Sonya? Shane, I'm not caught up on this. Thank you for the question. I'm not caught up on the thing between... I don't pay a whole lot of attention to Twitter beefs unless it's just something I have to be writing about. I know Sonya took not a shot, but she did. She took a shot at the women's division, which is probably where that's coming from, but it was all done in character, I would guess. So, did I see the video of MJ flipping off a fan in Philadelphia last week? Kid wanted a selfie and didn't ask first. Barry, I say MJF is free to do whatever he wants to do. He's a heel. I don't care how many people are cheering him. He's still a heel. I'm all for it. Do I want my kid flipped off by a wrestler? No, but you know what would happen if he did? You know what I'd tell him? Listen, kid, we're at a pro wrestling show. Get a thick skin. This stuff's going to happen. It'll be okay. Now put your hands on my kid. We got a problem. But if that's all he did, that's good with me. Mark says, do you think Seth's press responses are him being childish and arrogant as you try and be a locker room leader? I think both, Mark. If I'm being straight with you, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's him doing what he does, and I think it's him defending his company, and I think there's a little bit of ego. As we have said here on the show multiple times in the past, I have no problem with pro wrestlers showing ego, dude. I have no problem with it at all. I think you have to have some ego. If you have no ego and you're a pro wrestler, you're probably in the wrong line of work. You have to be confident in your abilities, and you have to have some swagger. You have to have a certain amount of, the it factor, as they like to say all the time. So, yeah, I think you have to have some of those things for sure. No doubt about it. What are your thoughts on Brock Lesnar taking SmackDown title and doing 3-month matches again? Shamar, thank you for the question. Here's what I think, to answer your question. Honestly, he's what WWE wants. And Shamar, not that you are, but you and I and anyone else watching this show or listening today can get upset. We can get mad. We can curse. We can punch something and break a bone. We can do whatever, but it's WWE. We have to understand the company we're talking about. And I've said this multiple times on the show. If you've never watched, I've always soapboxed on this. We're talking about a company that unapologetically does what it does, and they repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Every freaking day. And they do it constantly. Am I surprised that Brock squashed Kofi as quick as he did? Yes and no. Am I surprised he got the WWE title back? Absolutely not. I knew he was going to get it back. I knew he'd get it from Kofi. I think we all kind of knew that, right? Am I surprised that he won't be around that much? No, I'm not. But brother, before we all get mad at Brock, remember two things. This is Vince's company and it's Vince's call. Period. Sorry. It's the reality. Brock fears Cain Velasquez. Barry, yeah. Brock fears an empty bank account, as we all do. So no, be interesting to see what happens next week. Let's see. Is the Punk story true? I heard he's talking to Triple H. Tim, can I be honest with you? The CM Punk thing in WWE or in pro wrestling in general is a lot like Bigfoot. We've heard rumors. We've heard stories. We hear it's possible. We hear maybe this and maybe that. Until you see a Bigfoot in front of you trying to eat you or trying to hand you a flower or, he wants to borrow $20, whatever. How can you believe any of that? You can't believe anything that you see or hear. You know when you can believe it? When you see it with your own two eyes. And I'm not talking about a quote. I'm not talking about a clip. I'm talking about on your TV or on your electronic device. Here's Punk in an AEW ring, or here's Punk in a WWE ring, or here's Punk in a New Japan ring. That's when you can believe it. Otherwise, I wouldn't believe a thing you hear. It's all just rumor and innuendo, as the saying goes. Sorry I'm missing your questions, man. I don't mean to interrupt any or to ignore anyone. I keep looking up here to talk to you, and I miss the feed sometimes. My apologies. If it's something big enough for you to ask me, please repeat it. Are they ruining the Fiend with the Seth feud? Toby, I submit they have already ruined him. That's what I vented about the Hell in a Cell main event. If any of you guys were here for that, it was loads of fun. I can't help it. We all vented, didn't we? It's insane. I want to see the Demon Finn as a world champion in the main roster again. David, don't hold your breath. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. What will they do about Xavier Woods' injury? They better not add another New Day. Larry, I don't think you'll see that happen. I'd be surprised. Nathan says, not sure if you've gone over yet, but do you think it need to be a power eventually expand a longer show? I don't think it needs to, Nathan. I think they need to stick with the hour format and do it as long as they can and just establish themselves. If Billy Corgan has done nothing else, he's proven that, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? And you have to stay the course. You establish yourself, and then you build upon that. So I think they'll establish this first and then build upon that later. I don't think they need to go 2 hours or anything. I think they just need to stick with what they're doing, get it over to as large of an amount of audience as possible, and then see where the road takes them next. Any news of A-Double? I haven't heard much on him since he No Soul left Impact. Marky does have garbage attitude, or if not, he's the best salesman I've ever seen because, man, he's got you believing it, right? Or the worst salesman, I guess, is how you could look at it. The last I heard of him is he's going to work in MLW. He's going to work Teddy Hart. He's got a match coming up. I'm not sure when. It may have already happened because MLW tapes their stuff and then promotes it as if it hasn't happened later and then shows you the replay. It's kind of an odd way they do things. Jenna says she thinks Punk is overrated. Hey, Jenna, I'm open to all opinions here on the show. It's all good. And you're right, it is a wild opinion. I don't agree with you, but you know what? I respect your right to say what you want to say. It's all good. Robert says New Day be broken up and done, I think. It's possible, but The longest running faction in the history of WWE. The longest running concurrent full-time faction in the history of Vince McMahon's company is the New Day. Try that on for size. Yeah. So. Sorry about that. I got a friend of mine that's trying to find the show and he can't find it. So. Wilf was at 15 million they paid Tyson Fury. That's crazy. Shane says, looking forward to see Rock and Roll Express in AEW. Absolutely. I wouldn't look for them to attack the AEW Tag Champs. I'd probably look for them to get attacked by somebody. Isaac says, what's your thoughts on Tyson Fury and WWE? Isaac says Tyson Fury, which kind of made me giggle. It's funny. I like Tyson. He seems like a humble guy at first glance. Great boxer. He is. He's undefeated. You have to say. He knows what he's doing. But he seems to be doing it for the right reasons. He's got a kid, and his kid's a big fan, and he wants to do it for his kid because he's always been a fan himself. I have no problem with any of that stuff. As long as he's safe, as long as he protects Braun and Braun protects him and all that good stuff, it should be fine. But, you know, I'm ambivalent on this deal because, man, I'm old school in my way of thinking. I don't think outsiders have a place in the industry, but that's just me talking. That's just kind of how I feel. Having said that, I like him. And having said that, it's WWE. And as I just said before, folks, that company's going to do what they're going to do. And they always make moves like this. So I'm not going to get upset about any of it. Kane's punches versus Fury's who is worse at selling. It's going to be, it could be a train wreck at Crown Jewel. But I think we kind of already expect Crown Jewel to be a train wreck because of where they are, because none of us care about the event at all. They're doing this for the Saudi Arabian government. They're not doing it for you. You guys know that, right? I mean, the Saudi government, you know, or the Prince of Saudi Arabia just backed the money truck up to WWE's door and unloaded all this cash, pallets of cash. It's like the Joker, the big mountain of cash, and Heath Ledger just sets it on fire. Kind of the same deal. So, no, they're not doing the show for us. Do you ever think that WWE will push on Lashley versus Lesnar? Now they're pushing Kane versus Lesnar. Man, I think Lashley versus Lesnar is unavoidable, I hope. I think that it needs to happen at some point. Just get over this whole Lana debacle first. Do you think WWE will push on... Okay, sorry, I just read that one. I'm not going to answer again. Let's see. Yep, you're right, Nathan. Every event's been a train wreck. Again, if I'm missing any questions, and I know I'm missing some, my apologies. It's hard for me to go back and find the comment. So if you just hit me again, if you need to know something that bad, I promise you I'll try to get to everybody here today. Matches that mean nothing. You're right. It's a throwaway event for sure. What's up, Jeff? Welcome back to the show, my friend. Why is AEW taking so many shots at WWE? Am I the only one that thinks? No, Tim, you're not the only one that thinks that. But to be fair, Seth takes his shots as well. So, yeah, I don't know why. Shane says Finn Balor heel turn was great for him and Johnny G. Yeah, for sure. Who else saw the Finn Balor heel turn? And that's something. David, I don't know that Alistair will ever get the Universal title. Never say never in that company, especially not pro wrestling, especially not for Vince McMahon. Who knows what could happen? I like Alistair a lot. I mean, hopefully it goes well for him. I got my fingers crossed, but I don't have a lot of faith in that company. Just being honest with you. What am I doing for Halloween? Thank you, Sandy. I'm going to take my kid trick-or-treating next Thursday. It's the annual tradition, man. It's what you do, right? We're going to take him trick-or-treating. That'll be cool. So he's going to be like this scary clown thing. It's hideous. It's hideous, but he loves that kind of deal, man. He loves it. So, yeah. Jeff says Prince Devitt returns. You're right. Prince Devitt back in the house. Even did the finger gun, right, and all that stuff. Yeah, it was cool. Nice little heel turn by Finn Balor, for sure. Viking Raiders or AOP, who wins? Barry, the fans win. That seems to be the thing they say. Well, listen, the fans are going to be the winners here in this war between AEW and NXT. Whatever. I've written that. I'm not going to make fun of it. It is what it is. Book them both right, and I don't care who wins. I don't care. You know what I mean? Just book it right. Get them both over. Do justice to both teams because they've earned it. They've earned their shot. Give it to them. That's all I'm saying. Brenda says she likes Finn as a demon. Well, you know what, Brenda, I get you. I'm with you. But at the same time, I don't think he needs to lean too much on that. I think WWE's done a great job of pulling him away from that. He doesn't want to be a one-trick pony, I'm sure. Shane says, how do you like the commercials on NWA? I'm all about them. I'd love to have some of those for the show. That'd be great. Very, very fun. So, let's see. What else is happening here? Yeah, I still got somebody that can't find the show. So, Shane, what's up? Do you think Survivor Series being good this year, considering it's just around the corner and the build-up is going to be another rush job? Shane, it feels like everything to do is rushed. Even WrestleMania is not put together till like a week out, right? No, all the matches aren't even put together till a week out. Something like that's crazy. Did you see Nash hating on the Cody Jericho's segment? No, but you know what, Jim? All due respect to Nash, Nash isn't in the game anymore. I mean, his opinion should count because look at where he's been, look at what he's done. All due respect to Kev, I like the guy. But come on, you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, it just feels like, just let the guys work. I don't know, man. I was fine with the segment. No, is it realistic that Cody Rhodes takes a scarf and has the superhuman strength to punch a glass out of a door? You ever tried that? I imagine it's not too easy. No, that's ridiculous. But you know what else is ridiculous? Grown men hitting each other in the face 40 times in a match, and the next day, they don't have black eyes. That's unrealistic, too. You have to suspend some of your disbelief to be a pro wrestling fan. Not all of it, but some of it, you know what I mean? It has to be coherent and make sense, but we're trying to make sense out of something, what does they say? Trying to make logic out of an illogical situation. It's kind of what we're doing here. I know we're all guilty of it. I am, too. DDP versus Pentagon Jr. Boy, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Aleister Black and Drew McIntyre would be a good tag team. Man, I'm not hating that. I don't want to see it happen because I like both guys as singles, but I'm not hating that. Maybe an alliance, not a tag team, right? If they could do something like that. Michael says car window is virtually impossible. Tried it for fun. If anyone needs Michael, he'll be outside in his garage trying to punch out the glass of his car. That's awesome. Yeah, ask Goldberg how hard it is. He'll tell you. He did it. Was it 96 stitches down his arm in WCW that night? See, Jim says he was hating on how the champ needed to buy a ticket and then had a mic in the suite. Jim, yeah, you're right. It was a little tacky. Now, listen, if they'd run a spot where they said Jericho's banned from the building, like in the Inner Circle's banned from the building because of what they've been doing, sure. That would have made more sense. I'll give him that. I'll 100% give him that, right? I get that. I get that totally. Is Tommaso Ciampa a face? I think he'll be whatever they need him to be right now. So yes, I think he is at the moment. What channel is Insane Wrestling on? Brenda, I think I'll just check them on YouTube. I don't know if they have a channel. I mean, I don't know. Just check them out on YouTube. Go from there. I think AJK will be great. Did I miss something with Shane? I know he lost in his fire, but never mentioned it again. There's a follow-up to that story, but I don't know what it is. I saw the headline and I never read up on it. Long as Shane's not on my TV anymore, I'm perfectly fine with that. All due respect. But it's over. Just get out of the ring, Shane. Ugh. Oh, get out of the ring, Shane. Oh, my God. Just saying. Toby says, if you watch realistic wrestling to see realistic things, I feel for you. No, yeah, I get it. Yeah, for sure. So, folks, have you been seeing the black and white teaser video I put up about the Stormfront coming? Well, it wasn't the news. I was teasing. The news of me getting the job at pro wrestling at the floor seat, I'll get it out, at the floor seat as pro wrestling content manager was not the news I've been teasing. Here's a follow-up to that. Part 2 of the news I have for you. I'm going to give you a little bit. Are you ready? Here we go. Your boy is getting involved behind the scenes of a pro wrestling promotion. No, it's no promotion, you know. Relax. Don't get too excited. It's a promotion that's going to operate here in Western North Carolina. It's a promotion that was at one time very active and considered to be the best in the region for sure, and one of the best in the Carolinas for sure. I'm getting involved behind the scenes. I'm going to be running the company's social media. We're going to have our first event January 25th, 2020. Can't wait. So there's your news. Stay tuned to the page. We're going to release more details as we get them, as we need to. I'm not going to tell you the name of the company or anything like that. But for any of you that are wrestling fans, we are going to stream the shows on YouTube. I'll promote the living tar out of it here. I would appreciate all of you to follow along if you would, if you don't mind. I would greatly appreciate it. I know the owner would as well. Follow along and let us know what you think of the matches and the stars and the show and everything. That'd be awesome if you'd do that. And any of you that live in North Carolina, if you could possibly make it to the show, hit me up on Messenger after the show's over today, or email me, or whatever you need to do, Twitter, whatever it is, and we'll try to get you to the show so you can check it out. How's that sound? I'm anxious, man. I haven't been involved, actually been in the business in years, and I'm really looking forward to this. I don't, I know what you're saying. How are you going to have time? Brother, how do you have time to do anything in this life? You make time, right? Life's too short, man. Got to have some fun. So please, thank you everybody for the congratulations. Appreciate that. And that hurt. Hear that? Click. I'm already injured. I'm on the injury. Did you see that? I'm laid up now. Take a lot more than that to put me down, brother. Anyway, stay tuned for that. Thank you one and all. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'd love your feedback as we go along. And any of you that will be willing to retweet and repost and tell your friends, just so we can get the word out there, we greatly appreciate it as well. I got a bunch of friends on Facebook. If every one of them reposted something for me one time, that'd be double what I have now, right? So that'd be great. So I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you much. All right, let's get back to it. Sandy says, "Will John Morrison returning to WWE?" So the rumor was that John had signed with WWE again. He was coming back, and we didn't know if it was going to be NXT or it was going to be WWE's main roster. We assumed it was going to be WWE's main roster. We haven't seen or heard anything yet. I would guess and say they don't have room for him yet. They're trying to wait for the right time. But that's giving WWE a lot of credit for being smart. Sorry, I don't hate the company. You guys know that, but how many times have they run something 100% the way they needed to get somebody over? I mean, having said that, John is a world-class talent. Always has been, always will be. He's fantastic. He needs to be back in the ring sooner rather than later. So we'll see what happens. So, yeah. Nathan says Vita Scott. Is that the one we've been talking about, dude? Yeah. Nathan, we'll have to get you up to the show sometime, man. Harrisonville's a haul from where we are for sure, but I think it'll be worth the drive. Jenna, thanks for hanging out. Mark says, "Who has a copy of WWE 2K20 and how was it?" Mark, I don't, because I heard it's glitchy. So I'm not buying it until they get updates or whatever figured out for it. I'm not touching it. Do anyone know where Mr. Kennedy's at? Do anyone know? Terrence, what's up, man? So Mr. Kennedy is in the NWA right now. Don't know if it's there full time. I would guess and say he signed something with him. I think it's a good spot for him, to be honest with you. I don't know who else he's working for, but as of right now, NWA Power, 605. You gotta love that. Every Tuesday on NWA's YouTube channel, so don't miss it. AW Tag Titles, yes, Barry, they will be decided next week between the Lucha Bros and SoCal Uncensored. The winners will be presented the Tag Team Championships by the legendary Rock and Roll Express, which your boy had a chance to work with back in the day. Two great guys, legends. I was a big fan, still am. That's going to be awesome. Toby, I'm going to throw it out there and say Tony Storm's dealing with some injuries. I don't know that for sure, but I don't know what else it could be, to be honest with you. So, yep. Tanny says have the game, but waiting for 2K to patch the game. Yeah, well, hopefully you won't be waiting too long. Let's see. You got it, Terrence. No problem. What else you guys got for me? I feel like I've been talking your ear off and we've not hit a whole lot of stuff here, but this is what we get into when it's open forum Q&A, baby. You know what I mean? It's whatever you guys want to hit on. It's what we try to hit on. So I like Tony a lot, Toby, by the way. I've always been a fan of hers. I think she's really... Well, how about this? I wasn't sold on her at the beginning. I kind of felt like she was more image than she was style, or more image and style than she was work. But I don't believe that anymore. I don't think that anymore at all. I've changed my view on her. I think she's really good. So what else we got out there? Come on, folks. You're getting a little quiet on me. Don't make me just start singing a song. You know, Christmas is around the corner. When Christmas time gets here, your boy gets all jolly. I'm going to wear a Santa hat and everything. It's going to be great fun because Christmas is my time of year. It's my favorite time of year. I know it's cliche. I don't even care. Christmas time, best time of the year. I'm sorry. It's how I feel. I'm just saying. Well, Christmas and the G1. Okay? All right. The G1 Climax Tournament and Christmas. That's my two favorite times of the year. I'm not even joking about that, by the way. It's good stuff. Thank you. Here we go. Do you think the ratings for Raw and SmackDown will ever be the same? In other words, match? I don't know, man. Good question. Do you think CM Punk returned to WWE? Terrence, we've covered this thing a whole bunch. I think that I will believe it when I see it. Mark says, Imperium moving to NXT permanently, or is this a one-off thing? Mark, I would guess and say they're going to keep doing work with NXT. I think they need to do work with that brand because I love Walter. I want to see as much of him as possible. Alma says, sing happy birthday to me coming up Sunday. Alma, if you're looking for me to sing happy birthday, I don't make your ears bleed for sure. Everyone say happy birthday to Alma, though. Let's see. Christmas and WrestleMania is mine. Oh, there you go, Mark. Yeah. What does RH need to do to get back on track? Toby, was it you and I talked about this last week or me and somebody else on the show? I've written columns about this too, in fact. I'm going to tell you the same thing I said last week. If you didn't hear it, here it is again. I love Ring of Honor. I'm a big fan. I've got the Ring of Honor's Honor Club subscription. I love it. I love being able to watch all the pay-per-views. It's included in the price. I dig it. I love the shows. I've been to see Ring of Honor. Me and my kid. I'm a fan. I hate the crowd. I absolutely hate that crowd. And I know no one hates pro wrestling more than pro wrestling fans. Someone said that this past week, and a whole bunch of people jumped on and said, "You're so right." Like, you're pro wrestling fans. You know that, right? But in my estimation, no one hates pro wrestling fans more than other pro wrestling fans. I'm sorry, but I fall in that category. Not all of you. Relax. Not you guys. You and I, you're watching the show. You and I are good. I'm saying that I often tend to hate on pro wrestling fans. Watch any Ring of Honor show and you're going, man, that was a good show. And guess what? The crowd didn't care. They just sit there like just asleep. And those guys are killing themselves. Probably not getting paid great either. Okay? They're killing themselves. And that crowd doesn't care. That's ridiculous to me. I know what you're thinking. Well, if they don't care, Tom, it's the guys in the ring. They're not doing enough. Really? Is that what it is? Or is Ring of Honor stuck with the crowd that they have cultivated over the years, and they're not trying to reach their product out to get a more mainstream audience? That's just my hot take for the day, folks. Trevor says AEW is awesome, but they need bigger stars and their ratings will go up. Trevor, I submit to you that may or may not be true. They got big stars. They got Jericho. They got Cody. They got Kenny Omega. I know some of these guys are wrestling famous and not world famous, right? There's a difference. But I think you could throw every star from WWE on that show and it would work for a while, but they've got to get that brand in as many homes and in front of as many people as possible. And I think TNT is a great place to start. They got to take the show on the road, and they've not done that yet. Once they start running house shows, I think it will help. But until they get to that point, I think you're going to see, I don't want to use the word struggle because they're doing what I think they thought they were going to do. But it's a marathon, not a sprint. You got to give them time to build, you know. Will, thanks for the question. I think DDP joining Cody's perfect fit because he's his confidant. He's right there behind the scenes anyway. Tyler says you think DDP would be better off when Vince isn't running the show anymore. Tyler, I think that you would see a lot of changes once Vince steps down or, God forbid, passes away, all due respect. We'll see what happens, but I think, yes, it will change. Do you think WWE... Oh, about to read the same question again. I'm getting a habit of that today, aren't I? Punk will return and take the strap off Brock in the main event at Mania. Ooh, TJ with the hot take. We'll see. Do I think MJF will turn on Cody in a Brandy love triangle? That's a good question. No, because AEW is not going to go for the sensationalistic storylines. And if they do, shame on them because they don't need to. Right? I think if MJF's going to turn on him, it'll be at Full Gear just as Cody's about to get the 3 count on Jericho. I think the ref could be counting 3, and in the middle of 2.5, MJF pulls him out of the ring. And if it happens, you heard it here first. And I'm going to come back online and tell all y'all, holler at your boy, because I got it right. I don't know. But I think if it's going to happen, it'll happen on November 9th at Full Gear. Toby, good question. I pointed that out before in a column a couple weeks ago. It's so obvious that MJF is turning. Does it actually happen? Maybe not. Maybe I'll be wrong. For sure, it is obvious. Mark says, I know it's done and dusted now, but how did you feel about that? By the way, I like that. It's done and dusted. Mark, I might use that. Awesome. I thought it was hot garbage. 2 words, Mark. Hot garbage. The whole thing with the Fiend and the Rollins and the Light and the Cage and the Hui Vey. Hot garbage. Nathan, it is off topic, but the Star Wars trailer brings a tear to the eye because they're really promoting this thing as the final of the Star Wars, of the Skywalker saga and stuff. But yet the movie's called The Rise of Skywalker, which is really odd. The newest trilogy has all sorts of hate thrown at it, and people don't understand, and I can't say I understand all of it. But I'm a fan. I enjoy these movies. I grew up watching these movies, and when they ended, I wanted more, so I can't sit here and complain about them now. But we'll see where they take the franchise in the future. I like the trailer. Is it just me or is WWE getting worse every week? Trevor, from your lips to the ears of God, my friend. A lot of people are saying that. I don't know about worse, but if you watch Raw, it feels like the same rehashed nonsense. And because it is listen, it's WWE, it's what they do. The WWE recycles. WWE is a very green company. They recycle all the time. Save a tree! Watch WWE! It's the truth, man. It's Daniel Bryan's favorite company because they recycle everything. Well, listen here, pal. It worked 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and 12 years ago, 12 seconds ago. Let's do it again. Okay. And I don't care. I don't care what they do. It's your company. You do it. Go with God. He's the billionaire, not me. So what do I know? Right? It's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. That whole company's set for life. Good on them. No disrespect. It's just, yeah, it's monotonous. And yeah, I get tired of it. A lot of people feel the way you do. But what are you going to do? You can hate the Yankees as much as you want to. You can't argue with their past track record. You can't argue with the success and the history of the franchise. You can't argue with, what the NY, that status symbol, and it's known around the world. I mean, it's an established brand as much as Disney is. You know what I mean? How are you going to argue with that? I mean, you can hate them all you want, but you're going to waste a lot of time. You're going to waste and take a lot of good years off your life, wasting just hating stuff like this. It's WWE. It's what they do, man. Thanks, Trevor. Thank you for that. Floyd says, since Balor is heel, or just returned to the real rock and roll, I should have stayed up and joined the OC. No, Floyd, in my opinion, I think that Balor's personality, especially when combined with AJ's, is too combustible to be joined together at the hip and co-lead a faction. I think you would see a war before sooner rather than later in terms of who would run the OC. That's what I think. I think that Finn would immediately try to take over, and AJ would not want to do that, and they'd go fisticuffs, as they say. In my opinion, and this is just me talking, I think you keep Finn and AJ away from each other as long as possible, and you bring them together when the time is right. Will WrestleMania 36 be that time? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there to you. Thoughts on the Samoan dynasty. So, Toby, remind me who we're talking about. All right, so you're talking about the NOI family as a whole, or you're talking about a team? Because it sounds like the Samoan dynasty is a team. Because I know in MLW, you have Contra in MLW, and I know that he's the what they call the world champion in MLW. Not to roll my eyes, but every company calls a champ the world champ, seems like. But they've got the world champ Jacob Fatu, right, who's a member of the NOI family. Is Samoan Destiny, is that like an offshoot tag team from the family? Just let me know if you're just talking about the family as a whole. Shane says Tessa Blanchard versus Becky Lynch would be a great match. Tessa Blanchard versus this coffee cup right here would be a great match because that's how good she is. But no, you're totally right. We'll see what company she lands in, though, if she is indeed done. Nathan says, love Tessa. She just needs a bigger platform. Yeah, she's good. She's very good. Rikishi's new faction. Thank you, Toby. So who is in the faction? I knew it sounded like something, and I'll look them up, and I'm interested to see them. I'm sure they're good. That family's good, man. Mark says the local of her home city was to deal with Paige's stats with WWE. So you're from Newcastle? Mark, is that right? Are you in Newcastle? Is that right? Is that right? Don't tell me. I knew this. I think it's Newcastle. She can't wrestle anymore, but is she behind the scenes? I don't know that she is, Mark. I don't really have the answer to that. I like Paige. I don't love Paige, all due respect. I love the fact of her roots. I love how she came up, and I love that she worked hard to get where she was. I've never always been a fan of her attitude. I've never always been a fan of her smugness and her arrogance. And I know I just said earlier in the show that I think if you're going to be in the business, you need to have a level of arrogance, and I get that. But I think it's been detrimental to her through the years. That's just my take, though. No disrespect. Norwich. Okay, Mark, thank you. Norwich. Why was I thinking who's from Newcastle? Who's from Newcastle? Is Pac from Newcastle? Yeah, there you go. I think. Nathan, no. We've talked about WrestleCade in the past. No, I've sure not checked it out. Do you think the Usos will go to AEW since they weren't drafted? Well, if they're keeping them off TV because of the legal trouble. That's why they're not drafted. Because they refuse to stop acting like kids. I mean, I've ranted on this before. I don't feel like ranting today. I'm in a good mood today. Right? The Usos need to be told what's up. And they need to be told what's up. And they need to have a sit-down conversation and say, this is it. This is it. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's ever going to happen in that company. Maybe it will. Who knows? And I have no hate towards those guys at all. I have hate for what they do. For either one of them that screws up and the whole drunk driving stuff and all that thing. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know what I mean? Grow up and get over yourself. Do the right thing. Don't act like a bunch of friggin' kids. 2019. My God, what's wrong with people? Thank you, Sandy. Michael says Jeff Hardy's the same way. Yeah, I guess. I hate to be disrespectful and talk about situations that I'm not a part of. I'm not in these guys' lives. I don't know if they're fighting demons or what's going on. As an outside perspective, I can tell you that, yeah, I have a problem with anybody that gets behind the wheel of a car. Dude, I lost my father when I was 4.5. He's 24 years old and left this earth way too friggin' soon. He missed everything. Birthdays, graduation, first job, first kiss, first date, my wife, my son. Missed everything. Because some moron decided to drink himself into oblivion and hit his car head on. Killed him. Okay? So yeah, I have no love for anyone. And anyone that even jokes about it, leave me alone. Don't talk to me. That's a good way to get blocked. So yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Get over yourself and grow up. I'm sorry you're fighting demons. Okay? We're all fighting something. We've all got something we're fighting. Trust me when I tell you that. But you can't let it run your life. You just can't. You have to deal with life, man. Live with it. Get over yourself. Find a way to make it. Jeez. Yes, Sandy, I'm with you. I hope he does as well. I want to see those two get right as well. I don't wish ill will upon any of the three of them. Paul says, what'd you think of Balor NXT this week? I thought the heel turn was tremendous. Nathan, you're right. You're right, dude. You're right. But guess what? He's doing it to himself. Jeff Hardy at his age doesn't have the place to be doing the kind of crazy stuff he was doing 20 years ago. He's doing it to himself. He's choosing to do that. I can feel bad for him too. He's putting himself in that position. Jeff Hardy, in my opinion, this is just me talking, I think that he believes that for the show to be good and for the fans to be happy, he has to give them the Jeff Hardy. And in my estimation, in my opinion, he could give them a modified version of Jeff Hardy who's not trying to kill himself, right? And I think the crowd would love him just as much. The people love him regardless. And I don't know that he knows that. Not my place to tell him. I'm not in his life. Do you know what I'm saying? But I kind of feel like people love him regardless of what kind of style he works. Do you know what I mean? That's just my take. Shane, you're right. No excuse. 24/7 title's a joke. They need to get rid of that title. Trevor, I would agree with you to a certain extent, but it's working for them. Or it's not, and we hate it. I don't know, but they're using a crap ton, aren't they? Oh, thanks, Toby. I'll check it out after the show, man. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'll check it out. Yeah. Mark says, I enjoyed that kick that Balor got off. Yeah. Balor's good. Dude, we've been fans of Finn Balor since the day he rolled into the main roster from NXT. Since the day he rolled into NXT. Right? We've always put this guy over. Tremendous guy. Tremendous talent. He is. Recycle. Reset. That's what he needed, and he got it. And with any luck, they'll leave him alone in NXT and just let the guy wrestle. They tend not to get their hands too sticky into these guys' situations in NXT. And I don't know if that's Triple H or Vince McMahon letting Triple H run the show or a combination of both or whatever it is. Maybe they don't want to sully it up, muddy the waters. I don't know. But, yeah, let the guy just work. Let him be him. Let him do what he does. He didn't need any guidance in New Japan. He didn't need anybody writing promos for him or being on his shoulder like a friggin' big fat evil parrot. Just let the guy work. If they just let him do that, he'll be fine. Will says, who do you think the next big star from WWE will head to AEW? Will, I don't know. I think the next guy that needs another opportunity. I don't know if I have an answer for you. I'd love to see Orton, but maybe that's just all the work. Looking at Balor in the ring with Cole. Adam Cole's a small guy. We met Adam Cole, and I tower over that dude. Having said that, Adam Cole could probably put me in the floor and make me cry like a little girl, so I'm not going to say anything too disrespectful. You know what I mean? So it's all good. Elias will. Paul, my God. Yeah, Orton did tag Elias in that post, didn't he? Hoi vey. Yeah. Jim says just shows you how Triple H has no save for his guys on the main roster. He brings Balor back to NXT and uses him the way he should be used. Yeah. Yeah. Saying about where is Elias, there's rumors that Elias was released. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. Someone go to WWE.com and see if he's still on their page. Because that's how you know. If he's still on their page and he's still there and everything, he's not been moved to the alumni section. Right? Someone go look that up for us. Do I think Sami Callihan can make it to WWE or AEW? Leo, I think Sami Callihan has about as much chance getting to WWE as I do of becoming the Queen of England. And for all you folks in England, I look great in a dress. But no, sorry. Maybe I'll be wrong. I've seen crazy things happen before. Sami Callihan's been called a garbage wrestler, shock and all that stuff. I'm not going to call the guy names, but I'll tell you this. I'm not a fan of his style. all due respect. He's making a living doing this. Good on him. I'm not a fan. If I talk to the guy face to face, I'd be honest and I'd be as respectful as possible and say, I appreciate the damage you're putting your body through, and I have a lot of respect for what you do to entertain the crowd you're in front of, but I'm just not a fan. No disrespect. And that's just how I feel. He doesn't need me to be a fan. I don't think he'd care what I think, right? He's still going to get paid, still going to get booked regardless of what Tom Clark thinks. That's just my point of view. You know what I mean? Just kind of how I roll. What's your favorite horror movie? Is extra scary movies? Why don't you remake horror movie? Do new ideas? Oh, Alyssa, you're all over the page here, my friend. Oh, wow. Okay. I got to make sense of that. I'm not a great big fan of horror films, Alyssa. Not a big fan. I find a really, really good, unsettling horror movie to be a bit unsettling. My wife watches stuff, and she'll watch the goriest and just the most violent, hate-filled murder, crazy murder, crazy more rape and murder shows, TV shows now and stuff. And I know I'm going to sound like the old-fashioned guy in the room, and I know I've said this before, and all of you laughed at me, I guess. I don't know, and that's fine. I don't want to put this stuff in my head. And I know it's just movies. I know it's just entertainment. I know it's just Hollywood, and I need to get over myself. And I'm the guy that's put pro wrestling in my head for 40 years, right? But I don't want to put this stuff in my head. You know what I mean? I don't want to walk around having just watched. I know it's simulated rape. I know it's simulated murder. I know it's simulated violence. And the blood wasn't real. And the knife wasn't real. I don't want to put those images in my head. And I know that sounds weird. I know that sounds funny. I don't want to walk around with that. Does that make sense? And if you're a fan of the genre, I have no hate towards you at all. If that's your deal, man, go with God. I can't really deal with that. Does that make any sense? I know it sounds weird. What's up, Belinda? Welcome to the show. Trevor says Vince sucks. Sandy, thanks for hanging out in Germany. Sandy in Germany. Bye, Sandy in Germany. Lance, what's up, Lance? Lance is so late. Lance is my New Japan guy. Sorry I'm late, but do you think Ospreay will stay in Japan or challenge Archer for the title eventually? Ospreay is staying in New Japan, to my knowledge. He's moved to Japan now, so yeah. Will he challenge Archer? I wouldn't be surprised. They had a great match, so yeah. I could definitely see that happen. Do you think WWE will make the Fiend character any better? Will, I think they backed up a truck and unloaded the biggest amount of crap and garbage they've ever unloaded on a guy in that main event. I'll put you this way. They hurt. They hurt. Who did they hurt in that match? We talked about this, right? You have booked Bray Wyatt into a corner. You can hit this guy with a bus. Drop the nuke on him. He's going to kick out at 2. He's like Cena in his prime, right? Do anything you want to do to the guy. He's going to kick out, forget 2. He'll kick out at 1. You didn't do him any favors. You certainly didn't help Seth. I'll put it this way. Wyatt's in much better shape than Seth is because it looks like Seth can't pin a guy with his finishing move. And I know he's still wrestling and stuff, but man, the fact that Seth's pinning people, that's come on. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, I think you made the Fiend look like $1 million, but you booked him into oblivion to the point that now you're stuck. Because the first time he gets pinned, an actual pin, you're going to say, how'd he get pinned off that? He got pinned off one move. That was crazy. You know, you can be yelling in the room to your friends. He got pinned from one move. I mean, come on. Seth Rollins hit him with a bus and the guy kicked out at 1. Come on. I don't think they helped anybody at that night. You know what I'm saying? I've had time to reflect on it. I don't think they helped anybody that night. If the point was to get over Bray Wyatt, they did it, but they went too hard. You can go too hard for sure. Jamel, we've already talked about Tesla. Shame on you for being late. No, I'm just saying. I don't know where Tesla's going to end up. I wouldn't be shocked to see her in WWE. I think they have a lot of women in WWE, but I think they could slide her right in like they slide in everybody else, right? Toby says, I'm so loving the new Asuka attitude. Can't wait to see her on Wednesday. I like Asuka. Always have. Jim says they've already destroyed the fun house, and in less than a week they're trying to say it's rebuilt and it's going to make its return. Yeah, already. You know what'd be funny is if the wall was like still scorched. That's probably what they're going to do. Like it's going to be duct tape. They're going to the pictures are going to be hanging crooked and stuff. And he's like, I put it all back together. And he's all freaky and stuff. Don't be surprised when that happens, Jim, by the way. All right, folks. We're coming up on an hour. You guys want to hit me with a few more? We're going to get out of here for today. Paul says Seth will turn heel because crowds will start booing more and WWE will run with it. Maybe, but they didn't. They never turned Roman, did they? Don't hold your breath. Do you believe that they have successfully rescued the Roman Reigns situation with his current booking? Mark, the crowd has cooled off their hate for Roman because Roman's no longer being pushed down your throat 6 ways from Sunday. I think that the situation's worked itself out. That's what I believe. Now, the minute they tie a rocket to his back again and say that he's the guy and he's the best of all time and you should love him, that's the moment that you're going to see the crowds turn on him again. But until that happens, yeah. What do you guys think of Jessamine Duke? Jessamine Duke, she looks like 90 pounds of skin and bones. I know she's tall, but she looks like, you can see her ribs, man. And I'm supposed to take her seriously because she was in MMA and she's tattooed up. No disrespect. I know that sounds disrespectful. I keep saying no disrespect. And it often means I'm going to disrespect, but I don't mean it that way. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm feeling it too much. I'm watching NXT, by the way. So, Mark says Shafir is way better. I can't argue that too much. I'm not really sold on either one of them as of yet, you know. Mark says awful, yeah. Yes, Shane. New Japan is starting. New Japan. I forget the name of it. I wrote a piece on it the other day. I've already forgotten the name of it. Yeah, it's going to be cool. They're going to run shows East Coast, middle of the country, and on the West Coast as well. Obviously, they're going to be based in Los Angeles. The LA Dojo is now going to serve as the business office, as the base of operations for the in New Japan's American branch. A new subsidiary is what they're calling it. And yes, North Carolina is one of the states that they've advertised they're going to run in. So yay! Maybe Tanahashi. Maybe Okada. Fingers crossed. I'm saying. I'm an Okada guy. I want the shirt. I'm an Okada guy. Oh my God. If you find that shirt, buy it for me. It's an XL and I'll love you for life. You don't have to buy it for me. I'm just saying. It'll be awesome to have if they made it. New Japan of America. Is that it, Lance? Thank you. Something like that? Yeah. All right, folks. Yeah, New York for sure, Lance. They're going to go to New York for sure. All right, guys. We are up on an hour. I think we've hit on a lot of stuff today. We've talked about everything under the sun. Thank you, Stuart. Stuart, if we're not friends on Facebook, send me a friend request. That goes to every one of you. If you watch the show today for the first time or for some reason you just have not sent me a friend request, please do so. We can be buddies. And stay tuned for the announcements coming up on the new promotion that I'll be working with in 2020. So I'm jacked up to the moon about that, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for your support. Remember to follow me on the floor seat. The floor seat, I'm still at Wrestling Rumors. I have no plans of leaving. So the floor seat, Wrestling Rumors, the Chairshot, that's where I am. Hope you like the show. Hope you love the columns. Follow me on Twitter at Tom Clark Writes, WRITES. I think I got a couple new followers I haven't followed back yet. I'm going to hit you back. I apologize for that. Friend me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram as well. Just look me up. I think on Instagram it's Tom Clark 1278. I think. So yeah, man, I'll be there for you. There you go. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks everybody for staying tuned, for following the career of yours truly. Thanks for all the congratulations on the new gig. I appreciate it. That's all I got for you, man. We're going to get out of here. Thanks so much for hanging out. We are going home. We're taking it home. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there. Enjoy some pro wrestling this weekend. All that you can. And I'm going to go see a pro wrestling show Saturday night. We'll know why. We're going to do some scouting for the new company. There you go. Can't wait. That's all I got for you, man. We're going to get out of here. We will see you next time on Tom Clark's Main Event.